when they don't get met with that resistance that they're normally met with. It's amazing how they melt away.
I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of that as I move on without your face.
It's amazing the changes that you get in a horse that don't meet with resistance. How they melt away a lot of times and become quiet and calm and open. We're so used to fighting and seeing fighting as strength and muscle as strength, when actually it's love that's strength and patience that's ultimately strength. And it breaks through walls like that with horses especially. It's what resists persists. What you resist persists, in the sense of that mare there is very marish and could be a little dangerous. Now, hey, girlfriend, hey, relax. Now, relax. Like, come what may, attitude is what you gotta have, because you just gotta get in there. You know, you weigh your options, but my point is, you gotta, when you go in with like a mare, you know what you're getting into, but then at the same time you gotta let it all go and say, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. So your attitude is like you're cautious but open. That mare is tight and she's ready for a fight, so I can't meet her being tight and ready for a fight also, because then I'll just be increasing or multiplying the energy toward fighting, which is obviously not what I want. So in horsemanship, I have to meet her with the "you can fight me, but I'm not fighting you" attitude. And it's amazing the changes that you get in a horse that don't meet with resistance. And it's almost like you take the normal rules and you say, this horse is a rule breaker, this horse is mean, this horse is aggressive. But when you change the rules around that horse and you start saying, no, this horse isn't mean, this horse isn't aggressive, you just push your energy into that space and love them like aggressively when they're being aggressive. You change the rules, and now you're, in a sense, not seeing them as bad horses or aggressive horses. You're pushing your vibe onto them, and when they don't get met with that resistance that they're normally met with, it's amazing how they melt away. So mares like her are a really good example, because we see her outward behavior as all there is to her, and we meet her with that same behavior. It's just going to reinforce her ideas of her environment. But if we meet her with love and acceptance, it's going to soften that. She has nowhere to go with her anger because we don't have a home for it. We transmute. We take chaos and make order. We take hate and we make love. We take evil and we make good. We take dark and we make light.
Well, should we start the meeting officially? I don't know if anybody feels compelled to start first.
It's not a big question about who you go to
Yeah.
when you want it done really right. And I think there's room for improvement in my own shoeing to extend that. And you guys are both so introspective and reflective that it's almost inevitable. When I told you about me wanting, like back in Ellensburg, wanting to be, I told myself I wanted to be this in the shoeing world. I almost quit. And Sarah said, no, you're doing good, we better keep going. They're kind of like you know, when you come to that crossroads and you're burned out and you don't see a path
Like, what's it all
to the
for?
other side.
I feel like taking the 2 weeks, like I was feeling really good up until Margaret was born, and then taking the 2 weeks and kind of like coming back and like fresher and like seeing what I'm doing, I'm feeling a ton better about the shoeing aspect. Like I feel like my shaping has come a really long way, even in like the last 2 months or so. I also want to work on kind of continuing to close the gap between my vet practice and shoeing practice and kind of bring revenue here that's not just putting shoes on feet, rather like working in the Metron software, working in more of like doing like consulting rather than like physical shoeing work, but kind of just closing that gap a little bit so I'm a little more beneficial in the DBM way, and kind of spreading the word about that. I don't thrive well if I don't have routine, and right now it's kind of trying to figure out home and work balance. Number one, like, you know, dealing with daycare, dealing with 2 kids, in addition to the work of like the schedule, trying to take care of lost shoes, like all that kind of stuff, just kind of tightening it together and making my days more succinct so I can do more.
That goal and knowing that that's there is going to be so fun to start pulling content out of you.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about these things and shaping the stages for us to be able to get that messaging out there.
Yeah.
It's often not bad to make a really high goal with the idea that it's kind of like balance, you know, we never actually get the horse in balance, but we're always headed toward balance.
Brandon and I were talking a lot about this week between the two of us of getting as comfortable as possible before taking on anything huge.
I had Chris text me a list of clients that in my mind would be good transitions, and having days where Chris and I only do those so the clients get comfortable with Chris, and then slowly transitioning him over as they see his face more, get more comfortable with him, and really just see me standing there and him doing all the work.
That's amazing.
And then me slowly disappearing.
That just makes
That happens in sync with Chris getting more comfortable and confident
Yeah, exactly.
in
Yeah.
yourself.
That's one of my big things actually, is I want to work with Brandon a lot more. I think Monday, especially working, even like you had already gone through most of the therapeutic work, but doing therapeutic cases with Brandon is pretty high up there.
Yeah, Monday we were able to slow down.
Yeah. So Beth,
I think one of the main things that I want with the filming, at least with the chapter videos, because I like our educational and the ASMR, like we have a plan for all of that. But for the chapter ones, I'd like to have, and we still need to figure it out, but having like specific horses that we follow, like their paths, because I'd love people to go on and be like, oh look, it's Hank or it's Ranger, it's this person.
I love that.
I think Pippi would actually be a good one now that I'm thinking about it. Getting Brandon with therapeutic cases is going to come in
Yeah.
really handy.
Okay, well, I probably ruined the video because holding steady is a lot harder than...
I have things that can steady it afterwards.
Okay,
It
because
does look stupid though.
I drank a lot of coffee, let's just put it that way.
my goal is just to be someone that you guys can lean on and make what you want to have happen exactly the way you're talking about today. I want you in 3 months to say, everything was done. Everything was done. for me to get to this point.
I miss these in-person meetings,
Yeah.
and I know our schedules make it tough, but the virtual ones are necessary because of our schedules, but it's really good to see everybody.
Make it home before bedtime last night?
Oh, yeah. Also, how many Swiss
Too bad.
I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of